invite all of you here to our meeting and just thank you. Before we get started, as this is a public meeting and held in a hybrid format, we'll let everybody know that it is being recorded so that it can be transcribed and for record keeping and transparency. And so we want to make sure that we have everyone's name included as we do our meeting minutes for this meeting. And so, Ryan, are there any names or numbers that you may not recognize?
Not at this time. Looks like everybody has joined that has been regular attendees.
All right. So here we'll take care of the folks here. We do have some folks here, and I'll just offer it up as well. We also provide, as part of our meeting, a public comment period. That is what we do initially right after we approve our minutes. So is there anyone who may be on the call electronically or if you want to speak during the public comment period, offer up that opportunity, or we can provide appropriate time. So if you can raise your hand in the chat or come up and mute and speak, it would be appreciated.
Great, Dr. John Craig from the 8th District Dental Society. I'm just here for the fluoride update.
Okay,
Great.
That's fine.
Thanks, Chairman.
All right. And with that, we'll turn it over to Ryan, who will take us through some things that we have.
Thank you, Chairman. Good morning, everyone. Getting a little bit of feedback there, but thank you for joining us for today's Buffalo Water Board annual meeting. Once again, this meeting will be recorded. I would like to introduce a couple of housekeeping measures. To reduce the amount of background noise, please stay muted until you are ready to speak. At the time you are ready to speak, please state your name and affiliation for the record. I'll start by taking roll, starting with the board members. After I say your name, please state here or present. I'll begin with Chairman McFoy.
Present.
Thank you. William Sunderland.
Present.
Thank you. Gerald Kelly.
Present.
Thank you. Deneen Jackson.
Present.
Thank you. Ray Nosworthy.
Present.
Thank you very much, board. I'll now move to other regular attendees. Charlie Martirana.
Present.
Thank you. Damon Sykes.
Present.
Damon Rand.
Present.
David Hill.
Present.
Doug Foltz.
Present.
Kelly Lieb.
Present.
Peter Merlo.
Present.
Fuad Arab.
Present.
Lisa Foti.
Present.
Bill Ferguson.
Present.
Jack McMahon.
Present.
Stephen Waldvogel.
Present.
Portia Parson.
Present.
Don't see Matt. If there's anybody I missed, and Dr. Craig, I think we got you as well. So thank you all. If there's anybody I missed, please unmute your line and state your name for the record. Otherwise, Chairman, back to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Ryan. So as we get moving on board, I would offer up the agenda that was sent ahead that's posted up on the screen. I would have a modification to that since we have the doctor here. If we can move up our report on our redeployment of fluoride, if we can move that up to item 3A and do that then. Is that okay, Mr. Merle?
Yes, sir.
All right. We'll do that then so you don't have to hang around with all of them.
Thank you,
And so with that, we have an agenda that's amended. Are there any additional amendments?
Mr. Chairman, I would just offer for executive session to discuss litigation at the end.
All right. So is there a modification that we for item 16 will go into executive session to discuss litigation matters from the gentleman with the glasses on?
Oh my goodness.
Is there any additional amendments? All right, hearing none. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as so amended?
Sunderland, so moved.
Deneen, second.
The motion and properly seconded. Any further questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Sunderland, aye.
Deneen,
Kelly, aye.
Unanimous. Thank you very much. And we'll move on now to item 2, approval of the minutes from the meeting of June 18, 2024. Board, if you would at this time, please take this opportunity to review these minutes one last time that were sent out to you prior electronically.
Kelly, I move to be approved.
Been moved, is there a second?
Vivian second.
Moved and properly seconded, that the meeting minutes for the June 18, 2024 meeting be approved. All in favor?
Kelly, I.
Vivian aye.
Now, very aye.
Sunderland, I.
Unanimous. Thank you very much. All right, we'll now move on to item number 3, public comment period. Again, we offer up this opportunity for those from the public so that we can hear from you in our public forum. If there is anyone from the public who would like to speak at this time, if you could, again, raise your hand in the chat or come off on mute. We'll offer up that opportunity. All right, hearing none, we will move on to item 3A, a report on the refloridization of Buffalo Water. Ms. Merlo.
Yes, Peter Merlo, Principal Engineer, Secretary to the Buffalo Water Board. We are making the final connections, actually, it looks like this week. We had a dive operation yesterday where we went outside a diver into our treated water conduit coming out of our pump, our treatment plant over to our pump station. They went in there to help install the piping that's going to be used to convey fluoride to that particular conduit. So they went in yesterday. They actually went in the morning, took the dimensions they needed. Beckenbush went, the contractor went, fabbed up and created a pipe network in there for the divers on the afternoon and installed it. So that connection's in there. We'll be doing the connection to the 90-inch this week. Tomorrow, we'll be installing the flow meter. And in fact, that's going to be, we invited the press to come down and take a look just to see what a diver looks like when he's disinfected, when he's going in. So tomorrow's the flow meter installed in the other conduit. We have 2 conduits that we need to capture all the treated water that comes out of our treatment plant. The 90-inch we refer to, and the treated water conduit coming out of the, so the filtered water conduit coming out of the treatment plant. The connection was completed yesterday, the filtered water conduit. The connection to the 90 is going to be completed this week. Now we'll have the infrastructure in place. We're going to start up and do the testing and operator training for August. The safety training, the operator training, we're going to probably begin that in about 2 weeks. We'll sit down with them. And the goal is by the end of the month to have it turned on, and we're going to basically increase the dose slowly. We're going to start and increase to make sure that the fluoride is properly being distributed in our system. We'll monitor the distribution system as we continue, but we plan on starting that and turn the switch on at the end of the month of August. So right now, that's the schedule. It's been updated. The key is the operator training is an important piece, but we feel we have a couple weeks to really get that completed. At the same time, the reason we haven't started that earlier, which we think is, why didn't you get them trained earlier? Well, because the system has to be in place, and the final piece right now is the computer screens. It's the interface that allows the operator to control the pumps, to control the chemicals, so we have precise control over that. That interface is being developed as we speak. We're working with BlackRock Controls, who's the people that create that SCADA. You hear that term. It's supervised lead control and data acquisition. It's a fancy name for a computer system. We have a lot of mini computers here doing a lot of things, but specific things, not a whole bunch of things like you see in your laptop, very specific things and controlling specific items. This interface that's being developed now, that's going to be when they sit down, how they need the interface up. I'm just letting everyone know we are doing everything we can to keep these moving concurrently, not consecutively, one after another. And we're still on target for the end of August. And tomorrow we'll have a great day. We'll have the media out here. They'll get to see what we do a little bit. We'll get to talk about what we do. And sometimes I think when people see it, I hope that's true here, it really adds a lot. Hearing is one thing, seeing it's a whole nother animal. So I'm kind of excited about tomorrow. I'm looking forward, it's kind of showing up what we do.
Thank you.
Sure.
Any questions?
I have a question. So any more county or state approvals needed?
Yes, that's a great question. Before we actually do that, they're on board. They've been monitoring us and keeping in contact. But health department has to have the final say. And to be honest, you want that. You don't want any utility providing water to the public doing anything without all of the checks and balances. They're the final shot. So we don't see that as being a holdup, but that's going to be part of the startup and commissioning, the operator training, all happening. As we're training operators, we're going to be commissioning the equipment at the same time. That's the goal in August.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Is it state or county?
It's state, but it's administered through the county department. By the state authority.
Any questions?
What time is it taking place tomorrow, Peter?
9 o'clock,
9 o'clock?
yes, and public as well.
Right.
It'll be probably between 9 and 9:30 by the time that shoots and question and answer, all that.
All right. Any other questions? No, thank you very much, Peter, for that. All right, we will now move on to item 4, staffing update.
Good full daily operations, largely unchanged from last month, but we was positive we have identified a great viable candidate.
Have a good one.
Yeah, thank you.
So we are working with DPW to work through the process for the chemist positions. We are still, we're concerned with critical positions for process operations at MassApp, assistant field plant operator, and finding the viable solution for water treatment plant supervisor. The good news is we did have an Elijah Wolf, which is a current chemist. She did get her 1A.
Yes.
So we need to work with her at DPW to see if she's willing to assume the responsibilities of the water treatment plant supervisor position. So moving forward.
We're still left with one note. 1-1A.
We have one, Beth is serving in a temporary term.
Yeah.
And then, yes, Elijah would be a next candidate. We may have one more coming as well. Yes.
Another Eric location.
Oh, Eric. Oh, good.
So maybe just
Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. That it?
So-
I think so. I know we still have a lot of work to do in getting additional folks, but it's good to hear that critical, positive news. Okay, no questions on that, board? Now we will move on to, as this is our annual meeting, we'll move on to our election of water board officers. I'm gonna ask Charlie to help me with that one, so I don't mess it up. But Charlie, I know you want to help me out. I'll turn it over to you. Go ahead.
Sure, whatever you'd like. It's pretty straightforward. Mr. McFoy, every year under the Public Authorities Accountability Act and the existing bylaws of the water board, there is supposed to be an election of officers. Mr. McFoy continues pursuant to the statute as the mayoral appointee and chair of the board. So there's really no election there. However, we have the other members who are present today. Basically, we just need a motion that they would be all re-elected as members of the board. And do we have any officers that we want for vice chair? We need a nomination and election for that.
Okay. All right. So is there a motion? So we're not doing a motion for me because that's
No,
fine.
that's all set.
All right. I did that. So, sorry. All right, so with that, is there a motion to approve Mr. Sunderland as vice chair?
So moved, Kelly.
Yeah, Denise second.
No more questions. All in favor?
Kelly, aye.
Denise,
All right, thank you very much. And now, next up will be, is there a motion to approve Mr. Merlo as secretary to the board?
Denise,
Sunderland second.
The motion probably seconded. All in favor?
That's some words.
I'm sorry, Chairman, I didn't hear the first of the motion.
Me,
It was, yeah, it was Ms. Jackson.
Thank you.
I thought you were saying you didn't want. Objection.
No, one question after we do the secretary. We voted for vice chair, but I thought Charlie wanted one for vice chair, and one for everyone else to
Oh, the
continue.
members, yes. I'm
All
sorry.
the others.
Good call. Thank you. Thank you very much.
We'll call that a 6A and 6B.
We will do that. All right, once we got to complete this one. I
Yeah,
still- I still need some eyes.
Oh, I
Oh,
thought.
we will.
Kelly, aye.
Kelly, aye.
Demean,
All right. All right, thank you. And motion to approve the following board members, which would be Nick McFoy, Sunderland, Kelly, Jackson, Nosworthy.
Sunderland, so moved.
Wait, Charlie, just a point of semantics. Were you looking for a motion to reestablish the people on the committees?
That's
I'm
not.
coming next.
That's next.
Covered it.
This is just the members themselves?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's all right. All right. Any further questions? Here you go. All in favor?
Wait a minute, second.
I need a second.
So I made a motion.
all right, Demean, second.
Denise second. Thank you. All right, now we have motion properly seconded. Hearing no further questions. All in favor?
Sunderland, aye.
Demean,
Nosworthy, aye.
Kelly, aye.
Unanimous. All right.
Did you do the secretary?
We did secretary, yeah.
So let it just be noted that the secretary is also the FOIL officer, or are you going to do that separate?
Okay. Didn't have it on.
I'm sorry, it says on the agenda,
It does.
Commissioner Merlo as secretary
You
and
do that right now.
FOIL
I would
officer.
have no problem giving up those.
No,
No way, buddy. All right. Is there a motion to designate Secretary to the Board, Mr. Peter Merlo, as the FOIL officer?
Sunderland, so moved. I said, well, I'm not here.
The name second. All right. Any further questions? Hearing none. All in favor?
Sunderland, aye.
Demean,
Kelly, aye.
Unanimous. All right.
and just for the record, the city controller continues by statute as the chief fiscal officer and basically treasurer for the FOIL board.
All right. Now we'll move on to governance committee. So the way it was before is we had look at that. Oh, I'm looking at this wrong here. Last year, yeah. It's okay. We had last year. We had very look good. So we will now. If that's all right, we're good with that. Vice Chair, we'll do it.
Don't forget your assistant secretary.
Oh, sorry, Jack. How can we leave up? All right, we will do that.
Either Jerry or Ray.
Okay, all right, that's what we'll do. Got it. All right, we'll now have a motion for assistant secretary. Thank you very much, Jack. We'll get this right. And so is there a motion to approve the assistant secretary? Jack McMahon,
Demean, so moved.
Kelly, second.
the motion probably is seconded. Any further questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Demean,
Kelly, aye.
Sunderland, Sunderland, aye.
Unanimous. All right, now we will move on to the governance committee. Is there a motion to approve the slate of chair as Mr. Nosworthy, vice chair as Ms. Jackson, and member as Mr. Sunderland
For which committee?
for governance?
Sunderland, so moved.
Demean, second.
The motion properly seconded. Any further questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Sunderland, aye.
Demean,
Kelly, aye.
Unanimous. Thank you very much. Nice one. And now for the audit committee, is there a motion to approve chair as Mr. Nosworthy, vice chair as Mr. Sunderland, oh, excuse me, as Mr. Kelly, and member Ms. Jackson?
Sunderland, so moved.
Demean, second.
The moved and properly seconded. Hearing no further questions, all in favor?
Sunderland, aye.
Demean,
Kelly, aye.
All right, that's approved. And so now we will move on to item number 9, PAAA compliance. and I will turn this over to Mr. Martirana.
All right, thank you, Shirley Martirana, counsel for the Buffalo Water Board. I am distributing the authority mission statement and performance measurements for each of you. This is a document that we've worked with in the past. We have not changed the proposed mission statement. Peter, do you have one? Oh, okay. There we go. If you would just review it with me, the mission statement. The Buffalo Water Board is a public benefit corporation of the state dedicated to providing water service to its customers, fulfillment of its obligations, and the exercise of its authorities established by the Buffalo Municipal Water Finance Authority Act of the state and other applicable law. Buffalo Water Board seeks to protect the health and well-being of the personnel who operate and maintain the Buffalo water system and the people it serves with an efficient water utility that preserves and protects water infrastructure and the environment for future generations. So this is essentially a document similar to what you've done before, and I am recommending that you readopt it. The performance goals are set forth along with the measurements. Basically, number one, did the board establish and collect equitable water rates, charges, and revenues to satisfy your requirements? And the measurement is, did the board manage its rate structure and collect sufficient revenues to operate the Buffalo water system? The next performance goal is to establish realistic budgets and capital improvement plans that are current and predictive of future needs. And the measurement goal, is did the board prepare realistic budgets to pay for operations, maintenance, and capital projects necessary and appropriate for the provision of the services and maintenance of the Buffalo water system? Next is the performance goal to establish best management practices in line with industry standards for other public water utilities comparable in size and age to the Buffalo water system. And the measurement is how do policies and procedures for management, operation, and maintenance of the Buffalo Water Board compared to other public water facilities and systems comparable age and size. And so we move to page 2. Unless you have any questions with regard to those goals and measurements, as the board, I acknowledge that they have read and understood the mission of the public authority. We just did that, yes. Who has the power to appoint the management of the Buffalo Water Board? Essentially, under the agreements, I'm paraphrasing, and the statute, the mayor appoints, and the Buffalo Common Council has the confirmation of the personnel on the water board as well as on the Water Finance Authority. And they work in concert with the Commissioner of Public Works and the city engineer. In addition, the Buffalo Water Board continues to work with Veolia Water, North America Northeast, pursuant to the management agreement since as of July 1, 2020. Next would be if the board appoints management, do we have a policy that you follow when appointing the management of the authority? Yes, the policies are stated in the Act of the State of New York and other New York State public authorities laws and related laws, as well as, of course, the financing agreement by and between the Buffalo Water Board, City, and the Municipal Water Finance Authority. And next is briefly describe the role of the board and the role of management to implement the mission. Buffalo Water Board meets regularly, such as today, in public sessions in compliance with New York Open Meetings Law and related laws, regularly receives reviews reports from the Commissioner of Public Works, independent consultants, legal counsel and auditors, and the rate consultant regarding the operation and maintenance of the water system to oversee the management of the Buffalo water system. It also works cooperatively with other federal and state agencies, as I've noted, as well as Erie County and the city controller, Buffalo Corporation Council, and others with regard to implementing policies and procedures to achieve the mission of the water board. And lastly, as the board acknowledged that they've read and understood these responses, barring any questions, the answer should be yes.
Charlie, thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
We'll now move on to the item, which is motion to approve the annual valuation of our.
Excuse me, may I just have a motion to approve, re-adopt this?
Oh, re-adopt first? Okay.
Sunderland, so moved.
Denine second.
It's been moved and properly seconded that we re-adopt the mission statement and performance measurements and goals. All in favor?
Sunderland, aye.
Denine, aye.
Kelly, aye. Osborne, aye. Unanimous. All right. That was it on one. Now we move on to the next one. All right, great. All right, now we move on to item number 10, which is our Old Authority Accountability Act Director Competent Evaluations.
Charlie Martirano, counsel for the board. What I would offer is this document. You are free to look at it now and fill it out, or you may take it with you. And I would put it in a envelope, postage paid, that you can just mail it to me. It's confidential, so you don't need to put your name on it. But if you want to spend a moment now, that's up to you. There's no action that needs to be taken otherwise.
All right.
All I ask is that you follow up.
All right, Charlie, thank you very much for that. We'll now move on to item number 11, judgment and claims. Mr. Rose.
Yes, thank you. Ken Merlo, Secretary to the Board, Principal Engineer for the Division of Water. Not sure, just to kind of familiarize, the Water Board has a specific claims line in their budget. Annually, it's budgeted for $50,000 a year. As we know, the board is self-insured. So any claims that the board pays typically have been a small amount for any property damage or anything that happens. It always goes to law first, like all the other claims in the city. The benefit of being a board is we're able to pay those claims a little bit quicker, ones that are deserved, and those recipients are very happy because the city has an annual payment once a year. Things go, they pay them once, and then they're. Once I get law's approval, I will then issue, the water board will approve it, I'll recommend it, and then I will send that for a purchase order, work with the W-9 to get that individual paid for whatever reason. So this is one, this Larry here is one of our employees. He's a pumping plant operator at the Mass Ave plant. And there was a time he was coming in the gate at the Mass Ave that's supposed to, it's an automatic gate. And I was talking to the chairman earlier, and every instance when there's a malfunction, the gate's supposed to stop. Everything stops. For whatever reason, this one kept going, and it closed on his car. The damage associated, there are two closest to lower the two. This is the one that was filed with law and being recommended to go down. The actual amount of the claim is $1,634.51. It's rounded up to 1,700, but I'd rather just do it for the amount of the actual quote that's there than the lower the two. So again, we all recommend it. Came from Sean, our pumping plant superintendent, came to me, and I just been communicating with Larry. He's obviously very interested in getting paid because it's been already several months that this has been going on. So again, with budget, this is for this reason. I get water board approval. I'm working with Rob Quinn from law to get sign off. Basically saying once he gets paid, he's good, and then we'll go ahead and issue the deal. And good thing is Larry already has W-9 as he is an employee of ours, so that's one less step.
All right. Is there a motion to approve payment from judgment and claims in the amount of $1,634.51 for this incident?
Sunderland, so moved.
Denine second.
The motion is properly seconded. Hearing any further questions? Hearing none. All in favor?
Sunderland, aye.
Denine, aye.
Kelly, aye. Osborne, aye.
Unanimous. Thank you very much, board. All right, we will now move into our next item, number 11. It is CHA. It is water main replacement service location 4.
Yes, this is, you'll see here 4 and 5, and we're finalizing negotiations on 6. Again, there are 6 contracts, exhausting our consultant list, basically preparing the capital program, and when we work with Lisa and how that program is then implemented. But right now, we're designing what the board has adopted as in their capital plan, and that's what we're doing right now. So we did 1, 2, and 3 last week in Forest Bluff Harbor. These are the streets. And we're asking, again, in their proposal, they indicated all phases, design and construction oversight. We're only asking to fund the design and the bid phase. And that amount is $270,900. And again, this has been budgeted. We set aside these funds when we had to move that money around to kind of make things work at the end. But these were, again, so far, these projects are coming in as we have budgeted. So not saying any more than that.
All right.
I want to jinx myself.
All right. Thank
Still got
you.
number 6 coming in.
Yeah, well, you know, again, you know, we are really, you know, making sure that we reinvest into our system and make sure that we can continue to renew it and that you know, we're putting our money as an investment in the system. So we thank you very much for your management.
And thank you for your funds. And Chairman, to your point, we have spent a lot of money to continue to update our above ground assets.
Right.
Got to be able to pump and treat water. And our treating assets, our equipment is in very good shape. Now we're doing building infrastructure here. Now it's the distribution system's time to get a lot as much TLC. I mean, we're doing more now than we've had in the history of the Division of Water. So it's everybody. It's excellent. Thank you for the funding support. Thank you, Fuad. Thank you for the team. Thank you, Jack. I mean, we make it happen.
Yeah, you guys do a great job, you know, with your research for that. So appreciate that. Board, is there a motion to approve a professional services contract for various water main design in the amount of $270,900?
Sunderland, so moved.
Denine second.
The motion is properly seconded. Any further questions? All right, hearing none. All in favor?
Sunderland, aye.
Denine, aye.
Kelly, aye.
Bosworthy, aye.
Unanimous. Thank you very much.
Chairman.
Yes.
Can I interrupt very briefly? Got a note from Ryan that the document claim form has some personal
Okay,
information. on it.
pop it up, please.
Well, so if,
So we're going to share that with the minutes.
yeah, if it's printed out, just shred it and get rid of it. That's all.
Thank you. I didn't catch that. It's my fault.
It's okay.
Ryan, thank you. That's a big catch.
All right, thank you guys very much. Okay, we'll now move on to item number 13. This is professional services for Lavella.
Yes, these are streets, and again, they were chosen, they were continuing to work in this area. This is kind of a continuation of the existing project. This is number 5 in the various locations. Again, these names being identified as our worst. So it's the fifth packet that we're looking for both. In here, it's a total for design and bid of $232,000. If you scroll down, it's actually a sum of the first 2 items in there. And I've indicated that as much in the contract, just to make sure it's called out that we're only funding a portion of it at this time.
Okay.
But it's actually the phase design and bid, and that's where the $232,000. The rest of the funding will be encumbered once we have construction money as part of that bond sale. That bond sale to fund construction will fund the CA portion, the engineering construction oversight at that time. We don't need to encumber all that money now and have it sitting there until, and if a project is delayed, we don't want those funds tied up forever in a contract. Those funds should be, but I like them identified here just to show what the proposal is.
Appreciate that. Okay, is there a motion to approve a professional services contract in the amount of $232,000 for design and bidding fees for Lavella Associates for various locations?
Denine, aye.
Sunderland, second.
To move it properly seconded. Any further questions? Hearing none. All in favor?
Denine, aye.
Sunderland, aye.
Kelly, aye.
Bosworthy, aye.
Unanimous. Thank you very much. We'll now move on to our distribution improvements, location 2.
And this is current, and I contract way down by years, but just to keep it simple. Various locations 2 is the current project is in the central terminal area. We're finishing that up. This project needed some additional CA and R time attributed to it. All the other 2 projects that we had add more construction time. The project's took a little longer than anticipated. Project going very well. In fact, all the projects have had additional funding that we have prioritized, and we've approved not only additional construction previously, but some additional design. That's also going on here. We have The RI portion, the inspectors on there, there was a lot of times where there was multiple crews going on. We had to pull a second inspector in there. We didn't want to stop the job. We've been disturbing and in this neighborhood for all these for a year and a half now. And at the end of the day, a lot of this is cleaning up work. If you go out there now, I think they've done a good job, but there was a while there where it looked like a war zone. So our goal was to not hold up. If the contractor was willing to do the work, we provide the sources to get it done. Now it's time to just to get the contract. This will be the last change order for this contract. It will be closed after this one. The additional work here we're doing is the central terminal we're working with the Monica. And there's a couple streets that are dead ends that we can interconnect, and that will have to be done through an easement with the central terminal. They're very interested in doing this. So this could be something that can be done quickly. We'll look to implement that as well. And we will utilize existing construction funds in the contract already. So this additional construction work doesn't cost us more money. It just doesn't have money coming back. It doesn't create a problem with the contractor saying, hey, you overestimated services. Where's my money? Well, if we can find additional work that benefits the board, that's allowed, that's in the guise of the contract, it's a win-win for both. And that's what we've been doing with, I think, all four. So this is the last change order. I don't think there's any more for the other ones. This is the last one we need to expand the final act for this season. Again, budgeted, I had this earmarked. I knew this was coming. This was something I allocated for. This is just now making an approval and executing that as part of the contract.
All right, and this is fourth generation that we've been working. So this will be for CHA over
Yeah.
CE.
And it's 107,000, all not to exceed.
All right. Okay, board, is there a motion to approve
107,033. Yeah.
the change in contract for CHA for various locations to in the amount of $107,033 of not to exceed?
Sunderland, so moved.
Denise second.
The motion is properly seconded. Are there any further questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Sunderland, aye.
Denise,
Kelly, aye.
Nosworthy, aye. Unanimous. All right, we'll now move on to the report from GHD. Mr. Walpole.
Sure, thank you, Chairman. Stephen Waldvogel, GHD. As usual, lots of things ongoing. This month, we've been working closely with Lisa, looking forward at next year's financial plan. Probably some update on that in the coming months. Also, we've begun the Lead Force Task Force Community Care Coalition. We met earlier this month. We have another meeting next week. Two groups have been selected, which I reported last time. Both are energized and excited to get out in the community. That's the Community Health Center of Buffalo and Open Buffalo. So very positive progress there. We have been peripherally supporting some of the flow meter installation associated with the fluoride projects, just to help keep things running smoothly with regard to the press. Sadly, unfortunately, Dustin can't be here with us today because of a death in the family. So he won't give an update, but I'll turn it over briefly to Ryan now.
Thanks, Stephen. We continue to meet regularly with Veolia Engineering and 120 Water to continue to advance the lead program. We've submitted the roll invoices for the last quarter, so they may be processed through the city. And then next week, we'll be attending the Lead Task Force meeting to provide a demonstration of the getwaterwisebuffalo.org website. We plan to walk everyone through the website, focusing on the service line inventory survey, the public-facing service line inventory map, and also want to make sure everyone is aware of the affordability programs that Buffalo Water offers and how to go about that process. Other topics to be discussed will include the sampling program and replace old lead lines program. And this is terrific timing as we move forward with the Community Care Coalition effort and align various groups who are involved in any facet of the lead program. So we just want to make sure everybody has the same messaging and the same process going forward. That's all I want to give today. Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan. All right. Thank you very much, GHD. We appreciate all the work you guys are doing for us and on behalf of the water board and our community. And I think, that Lead SIF task force, that's always a good thing to be at. That's just a coalition of a bunch of folks who are really focused in on lead all over Western New York. And so them hearing directly from us on how to use the tool that we put out last year to really locate all the lead service lines, as well as all the other programs that we have regarding affordability and water quality sampling are going to be great. So thank you very much for that. We'll now move on to monthly report from Veolia. Mr. Hill.
Thank you, David Gill, Project Manager for Veolia. Some quick updates. We'll start off with the affordability programs. Page 2 of the board report of promise pay had a good month, collected 52,000 this month, and the collections to date are 981,000. That East Side Homeowners Program, page 5, very good month there, 375,000 yearly for the month, and 5.8 million collected to date. These affordability programs that the board's got behind it, they've really helped our customers, and all the lobbying you're doing with the state folks to get these things funded, to just continue to do what you're doing, because it seems the need is there. And we can't get enough. So good story there. Roll program, 33 services for the month. It tends to pick up in the summertime. We tend to do there, but it's an average about 30 quite a while. Total revenue for the year, page 8. Budgeted, we were looking at 49.4, call it. We came in at 49.1, roughly 300. So proud of that, a lot of effort there. But we had a good year. Page 10, customer service. Don't know if I mentioned this last month, but we've had the Harris folks, the enhanced team in kind of workshop, really to take a look at our current customer information system to make certain it's upgraded as well as it can be, which it is. And we had a workshop with all the new, or a lot of new agents and faces down there. So we took time to basically configure their workstations to make it work for them better, work towards the customer. Now they can see, they used to have to jump between 5 screens to get information. Now they've got a dashboard with all that on one page. So it allows that interaction between customer and agent really to take to that. That's great. So we've been working on it. Tons of work at the plant. And hats off to GHD, all the contractors. The wall.
I'm looking at it right here. Scaffolding's down. That looks
Really
good.
nice.
Yeah, take a look. The wall looks.
All right, it's coming together. Doug, you got any other? The list that was just scrolled past, you can see that's just a small list of some of the things that are, you can scroll back up, Brian. That's just a snippet of what's actually happening in various projects that are happening through Veolia and other accounts. Good activity.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you.
By the way, Chairman of the board, just for your information, with all the work going on here, I like to point out the fact that someone made this comment. I didn't really think about the aesthetics. We're replacing the roofs on these buildings as part of their design.
That's
I know.
that's something you've got here, that's nice too.
Make this facility really look good.
Yeah.
From a viewpoint. And that's not the reason we're doing it, but with all the work going on Centennial Parking, with the fence and
Oh,
with the wall,
North.
it looks really good.
Right. And it's effective. That's great. And we have our, well, this might be tested soon. But
We're protected right now.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see how it goes. I don't know who said.
Yeah, I know.
Good luck.
I think you're coming in fast.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate the partnership. Questions?
Peter, there was an email that came out the other day on Spry Point regarding
Yes.
CIS. Where are we with the contract?
It's a good question. I think, I thought that Charlie, we're gonna touch base with John. I don't know where that ever went in terms of kind of moving that contract. I think John kind of mentioned that he was going to relook at it again. I don't know if he ever did. John had from our legal. I thought that was gonna be the next step, the CIS software.
I'm very much aware. We are working with the law department, and my sense is that they are willing to just let the water board go ahead and not go through the city. So I will report back to you on that.
Wait, let the water board go through instead of let it go through the city?
I will report back. I'm, again, trying to get.
That may allow for an easier implementation. So
Well, I'm
we got
aware.
that. I mean, let's take a run with it. Whatever's easier here to
It's
get
not
this done.
conclusive just yet, okay?
That's all. The goal is to get it implemented as fast as possible.
I agree, Peter.
Let's not get in our way.
But I will report back to the board on where that goes.
All right, thanks, Charles.
Thank you. That's good news.
And so report back to Bill, because I know Bill's been working
Yeah,
with
sure.
Julie on that. To lead that up on from the board stand. So thanks. Okay, anything else? Any more questions? For Bill? All right. All right, so, hearing none, we will move on to our last item, item number 16, which will be executive session. We will be discussing litigation matters. And so for our virtual community, we're likely going to go into this. Nothing will be passed when we're in executive session, and then we'll just simply come out of that and go to adjournment. So it will be for information for the executive team, or excuse me, for the board especially. So I thank everybody very much for today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your summer. Look forward to seeing everyone at our next meeting. Thank you.
That date,
The date of our next meeting is.
OJ, do you need me to stay on at all?
No, I think you are good,
Okay,
but thank
Thank you.
you. If we go through chat,
I have August 21st. That's correct.
I have the 21st, 9 a.m. Good, good,
That's what I have.
good. All right. All right, 21st, 9 a.m. of August. Look forward to seeing everybody then. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody.
All right.